The ledge they stumbled onto in the Nevada hills was the richest silver deposit on the continent. The man whose name went on it walked away from his share in the first month. He spent the rest of his life watching other men get rich off land he had given away for almost nothing. June 1859. Sun Mountain, Nevada Territory. A dry, rocky shoulder of the Virginia Range, east of the Sierra Nevada. In a place so inhospitable that the Washoe people who had lived in the region for centuries used it, mostly in summer. Two men were working a placer gold claim they called the Ophir. Their names were Peter O'Reilly and Patrick McLaughlin. They were finding color, traces of gold in the sandy soil. But the work was slow and the yields were thin. They had been fighting something that kept contaminating their gold. A thick, blue-gray clay that clogged their sluice boxes and slowed everything down. One day, another man stopped to watch them work. Henry Comstock was a drifter and a talker and a man with an instinct for inserting himself into situations that looked like they might pay. He had no legal claim to the ground O'Reilly and McLaughlin were working. He told them he did. He talked so fast and so confidently that O'Reilly and McLaughlin accepted his version of events. He became a partner. He was already claiming it was his claim when the sample of that blue-gray clay was sent down to Grass Valley in California for assay. The assay results came back in the summer of 1859. The blue clay that had been clogging their sluice boxes was silver. Not traces. Not a vein. A thick ledge of silver ore running directly through the hillside. Ore that assayed out at $4,000 per ton in silver and $3,000 per ton in gold. $7,000 per ton. There was nothing like it anywhere on the continent. The news hit California like a second gold rush. Men who had been working the exhausted California placers picked up their equipment and headed east. Over the Sierra Nevada in every vehicle available. By 1860, 10,000 people were on Sun Mountain. By 1863, Virginia City, the town that grew around the Ophir mine, had a population of 15,000 and an infrastructure that strained belief. A multi-story international hotel with the first elevator west of Chicago. An opera house. A stock exchange. A newspaper called the Territorial Enterprise where a young reporter named Samuel Clemens was developing a writing voice under the pen name Mark Twain. The mountain was producing wealth at a scale that would fund the Union cause in the Civil War, pay for the construction of the city of San Francisco's finest Victorian neighborhoods, and generate more silver output than any single deposit in American history. Henry Comstock, whose name the deposit carried, was not there to see any of it. He had sold out in June of 1859, before the assay results came back, before the scale of the discovery was understood, for $11,000 and a horse. Another account says it was $10,000 and a mule. $11,000 was a significant sum in 1859. He was not stupid to take it. He was afraid the silver would run out. He was afraid the whole thing was a flash in the pan. He had seen plenty of promising claims produce nothing. He was wrong. The Comstock Lode produced steadily for more than 2 decades. Total output exceeded $400 million. An almost incomprehensible figure for the era. $400 million in silver and gold came out of a hill that a drifter with no legal claim had talked his way onto and then walked away from in the first month. Comstock wandered. He worked other claims in Nevada and Idaho and Montana, always certain the next strike was coming, always just behind the discovery or just ahead of it. He married twice. The marriages did not go well. In 1870, 11 years after selling the richest deposit in North America for a horse and a sum of money that was gone within months, Henry Comstock died in Bozeman, Montana, by a gunshot wound that was ruled a suicide. He was 47 years old. The mine that carried his name produced another decade of wealth after he died. The men who became rich on the Comstock were not the men who found it. The four major mine owners, William Ralston, William Sharon, John Mackay, James Fair, arrived with capital, bought up claims from the prospectors who had done the finding, and built the industrial infrastructure that extracted the wealth at scale. They are the ones whose mansions line the hills above San Francisco Bay. They are the ones whose names appear on the buildings. O'Reilly and McLaughlin, who actually found the deposit while Comstock was talking his way into a partnership, sold their claims within a year for amounts that seem reasonable against the knowledge available at the time and look heartbreaking against what the land produced afterward. This is the recurring pattern of the American mining West. The men who find it rarely keep it. The men with capital arrive, buy the claims, build the mills, and take the yield. The prospectors take the risk and the early suffering and the small initial payout and then watch from the outside as the fortune grows. Virginia City declined when the Comstock declined. The deep ore bodies ran out. The mines flooded. By the 1880s, the population was falling fast. The International Hotel closed. The stock exchange went quiet. The Territorial enterprise, where Mark Twain had learned to write, eventually folded. But Virginia City never became a ghost town either. It sits on the hillside still, a National Historic Landmark, the most intact mining boomtown in the American West. The hotels and newspaper buildings and minehead frames preserved by the dry Nevada air and by the fact that people have never entirely stopped coming to look at what the silver made. Henry Comstock is buried in Bozeman. There is a small marker. If this story got to you the way it gets to me, hit the like button. It takes nothing and it tells the algorithm this history deserves to be found. Share it with someone who needs to hear the part of the gold rush story they left out. Subscribe. 60 of these are coming. Subscribe, like, share. I'll see you in the next one.